we'll get more information. Don't know what time tomorrow. Obviously, it was a leg injury, and when he comes out like that, you're a bit unsure. But he'll get looked at tomorrow by our doctors, and I don't know if the answer we'll have tomorrow, but we'll definitely, within the next 2 days, we'll have a better idea.
Out in the second period, you guys seem to come out with a lot more energy, seem a lot more crisper out there. What was the turning point? What changed? Was there something said in the locker room between periods, or?
Well, we did obviously talk about some things in between the periods. To me, our forwards were going after pucks in the second period and going after hard. We weren't. Seemed like to me in the first period, our execution wasn't great out of our own zone where we were turning pucks over, spent more time in our zone. But I found that in the offensive zone, it seemed like once we didn't get to the puck, we just kind of retreated back, almost playing a cautious, passive game. And to me, in the second period, we started going after pucks. And it wasn't, one guy would go one direction if they moved the puck. We had somebody move into the puck. So there was constant pressure. We were able to turn pucks over. And it seemed like they were just able to just chip it out of their zone, and we were able to transition and go right back. And I think the momentum started to build after that because it was shift after shift. It wasn't one line. It was all four lines doing it.
Todd, for all the inconsistencies, the up and down, the one number that is rock solid is when you have a lead after the second period, you hold it in the third. I mean, it even carries back to last year. Any reason for that? Is there anything that happens when you've got even a one-goal lead going into the final 20?
Well, to me, there's a lot of pride that goes into that. When you have a lead going into the third period, and that would be a question for the players and their mentality and how do they approach the third period. I like approaching the third that when you have a lead, let's get the next goal and continue to play the same way. And a lot of it is confidence. I think players do know based off of last year and going into the third period with leads. And, you aren't necessarily waiting for something bad to happen. If you say your record, say you're 6-4 going into the third period with leads. Sometimes I think you wait for problems to happen, wait for bad things to happen. And I think the players have, over last year and this year so far, feel comfortable going into the third period with the lead.
Todd, I know you only know so much about Bobrovsky, or you only want to say so much at this point, but guys seem to be in a pretty good mood. Do you have any indication? Is this a long-term injury or just a short-term maintenance?
Porty, I really don't know. I truly don't. It's a leg injury. And again, we'll know more tomorrow.
Todd, these past couple games, win-loss, win-loss, win. What's it going to take to get a win streak? I mean, you guys haven't been playing bad. It's just you haven't been able to put two together.
Do you have an answer? Because I've tried. So you know what? Today was a good step. I think there's things that we can build off of. It doesn't guarantee anything on Friday against Minnesota. The mood is good after the game, which it should be. But tomorrow we got to come in, we got to refocus and have a good work day. And then on Thursday have another good day. So we can keep taking steps in the right direction. But I think I've said it after every win. We got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. But to me, there were some real positive things in this game. I liked the second period as far as, to me, it was getting back. It resembled some games earlier on this season. It certainly resembled how we played last season and going after the pucks and playing that aggressive style where that was our identity and how we played last year.
Todd, you guys only committed 2 penalties tonight. Obviously, you're pleased with the discipline you guys showed tonight, but also you guys seem to be more aggressive on the PK. Do you feel like special teams is really starting to turn the corner now?
We were really undisciplined the last 2 games, taking too many penalties. You can't do that in this league and be successful. You can't. You might get away with it one night, but teams are too good, players are too good in this league. It's going to come up and bite you. And we talked about it. Players were more disciplined. I thought our penalty kill, that was a huge kill in the third period. That's a tough situation. Curtis McElhaney going in when he did and having to kill. But I thought the group, and I don't know how many forwards I used. I think I might have used eight different forwards on that penalty kill. And obviously Jack was in the box, so we had some different defensemen out there too. But that was a big kill for us, and I think it was the aggressiveness, but I think that was getting back to, again, our identity and how we can play. Instead of waiting for them to make a play, I think we went out and tried to force them to try to make plays.
Curtis was saying there's no more difficult position for a goalie to be in than an injury, and 10 seconds later you're on the ice. Can you speak to how he handled that the rest of the game, and how much confidence you have in him if he's your goalie for a while now?
Based on Curtis's play, what I've seen so far this year, there's nothing for me that would lead to suggest that I'm expecting bad things, because he's played in the games that he's played well. And to come into this situation, this is a tough situation to come into. Again, third period, 1-0 lead, team that's battling to try to get wins, try to get points. It was a big game for us. I know it was this game 28. People might look at it and go, well, it's not that big. It was a big game to us tonight. And when you come in that situation, and then you got a power play versus a very good team. Tampa's a very good team. But I also think it was almost a rallying thing for us too, as a team. A lot of times when your goaltender, your backup or whoever's been backing up is thrust into that position, I think as players in front of them, you take it personal to help them out.
Todd, what did you like most about Nick Foligno's goal, and maybe was that the prettiest play we've seen this season from this team?
Well, it was pretty because it went in without question. And when you look at the replay, that was really his only play. But it just shows you that his thought process and his skill set that he has. I mean, those are the things that he can do, and we don't have a lot of guys that could make that play. There aren't a lot of guys in the league that can make that play. And it was a great play by Johansson too, to create that turnover and then make that play. So there were a lot of good things that happened, and obviously a great job by Nick finishing. I'm sure we'll see that go home tonight, watch NHL on the fly, and that might be the top play.
Brandon Dubinsky came back. Did he give you exactly what you expected out of him?
Well, a lot more than probably what you guys see out on the ice. When you're back in the locker room in the coach's office and you hear the talk in between periods or before the game, and a lot of it was coming from him. So that's another thing that we missed. So as far as his on ice, it's exactly what I expected. The hard work and strong on the puck, and he wasn't perfect, but he brings a lot of good things that I think the rest of the team can feed off of.